Click the bell icon to get latest videos from Ekeeda.
Hello friends, the topic which I'm going to start today is core sand and core boxes. Today we will be talking only about core, how the core is made and what are the patterns used for making core, that is core boxes. So the topic today is core sand and core boxes. So we'll see one by one. Firstly, we'll talk about core sand. Core sand is nothing but cores made up of sand. We don't use any other material like carbon, silicate, nothing. Majority of the part of the core or the whole core is made up of sand. Almost 70 to 80% of the cores are made up of sand, as it holds the property of permeability as well as collapsibility. So as I have named two properties, one is permeability, one is collapsibility. These are property of a sand and which is used in a core. So what happens is clay plays a very important role in making a core sand. So as clay is also a very important constituent in making a sand, when you come to core sand, what happens is if you increase the percentage of clay, its permeability as well as collapsibility reduces. So its property of gaining permeability and collapsibility also reduces just because it has higher percentage of clay. So we just have to control the percentage of clay, that is, it should not be more than 5%. So the percentage of clay in a core sand or any of the sand should not be more than 5%. As I have told you, it helps in decreasing the permeability as well as collapsibility property of your exact core. So after sand, we'll come to binders. Binders also play a very important role in making a core sand. It has to be binded and it has to get into the shape of a core. So what happens is there are 2-3 binders which we use on a basic scale. Number one is clay. As we have told, clay is also an important part of us making a sand. That is what we need for make a sand: sand, silicate, clay, water and some additives. So as I have told, clay should be added in 5%, water as per requirement to keep it dry or to keep it wet. It means what? Sand. Then we'll come to additives. So in additives, clay also play a very important role as it is also a part of additive. Some additional additives are those who get hardened at room temperature and those who get hardened while baking. So exactly we can't specify, like we have some cereals, grain and etc. These are some kind of hardening agents like additional additives. Also your core sand should have the property of refractory. Refractory is a very important property when you come to sand or when you come to casting. It is the property of getting all the heat and sustaining all the heat. Sand should sustain all the kind of heat which it gets through the molten metal. It should have the property of refractory, permeability as well as collapsibility. To maintain this property, the amount of clay can be added or subtracted. It should be less than 5%, and also the amount of additives should be added or subtracted according to the need. Then we'll come to grain size. What happens is sand consists of some grains. It can be coarse, it can be fine. So the fine grain settles properly. It helps in making your core more and more smoother. When it comes to coarse grain, what it happens, it is large in number, more in number and higher in number, so it has to be discarded because it helps in reducing the smoothness. So if you need a smooth core, you need fine sand particles. So there are some additional additives. We can use oils, we can use linseed seeds, we can use furan, we can use some powders. So these all some kind of additives, or we can say that binders. It binds your sand properly. So binding agent can be clay, can be water also, but additionally what you can add any kind of seed, oil, but specific kind of oil to increase its binding nature. So although your sand is not fine enough to get binded properly, additional binders help your sand to get binded and to form a core. This is very important property of a core: binding. So for binding, additional agents can be used. So now for making any kind of core which is made up of sand, you need core boxes, or any kind of material. Like, I won't say only sand, any kind of core which you need to make, you need core boxes. These are some kind of core boxes: split, two plates, left, right, gang core box, etc. So these are some kind of core boxes which we will see one by one. So the diagram of all the core boxes are being specified in our slide. So the first core box which I would talk about is half core box. So what happens is, half of the part of your exact core can be made in this box. So first half is made in one box, another half is made in another box, and both can be cemented together to form a one full core. As I have said, this is a kind of pattern for making cores. Core box is nothing but patterns for making cores. So what happens is, when patterns is made for core, half and half can be made in a half core box, but they are not standard pattern. It can be used on a wide scale, but standardized way they can be not used at a very large scale. For specified objects, you have to make specific core boxes. So the next core box is split core box. Split core box is made up of two half boxes, which you can see in the diagram which is there in the next slide. Split core box consists of two core boxes. One half is there in one part, second half is there in second part. Then we'll come to stricle core box. Stricle core box is a kind of irregular core boxing where ramming is required on a large scale. These boxes are made up of wood, and excess sand is rammed after putting the sand, and it can be used as a core box. The next core box is right and left core box. As the name itself suggests, which we will see in the diagram also, right and left core box, it can be used for making pipes. Small openings or small kind of length or right angles can be made on the core box. It can be made of that shape. The pattern has to be made basically of that shape, so that the material like your sand or any other stuff for making core can be added in that, and your core box is ready. And the last is gang core box. It is a kind of a tray in which you can put water for formation of ice. So gang core box is again the same type. It is a box. Small core boxes can be made, n number of small core boxes can be made of the same type and of the same size, kept in a tray, and sand is added in that, and additionally the shape can be made. So in the next slide I'll show you the diagrams. So one by one, if you will see, the first part is the split core box. Two core boxes can be split. Dowel pins are added so that you can put it together and keep it for a few minutes or the time whichever is required. And then comes the stricle core box, and then you can see the right and left core boxes. They are basically used for making pipes or any kind of circular or straight objects, but it is kind of right angle. And the last one is gang core box. N number of small cores can be made in gang core box, but they would be of equal size or unequal size irrespective of the gangs used exactly in the process. Thank you for watching this video. Stay tuned with Ekeeda and do subscribe our channel Ekeeda.